You've got lots of real estate questions. Should I downsize? What improvements do I need to make before I sell? What will Connecticut's real estate market be like in 6 months? It's time for The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. He's got your answers. Call 203-333-9422. Now, here's your host, Pat Civitella.
Hello, and good evening to everyone, and thanks for tuning in into The Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Pat Civitella, over 35 years experience in real estate investing, and this show is about creating long-term wealth through real estate investing, and I can show you how to produce passive and residual income through real estate. I'm going to share with you my knowledge and offer my guidance and inside information that most people are not aware of. And again, I can also show you how to develop and generate secondary or primary income from investing with real estate. And besides that, I also have 35 years experience on different type of home improvements that I can share with you, or if you have questions on it, to increase the value of your property or home. So I encourage everyone to call in if you have any questions, and call in early because the show does go by quickly. And the number here is 203-333-9422. That's 203-333-9422. And this is WICC 600 AM, 107.3 FM. And this show is brought to you by our sponsor, and that's our friends at 1-800-MR-JUNKER, Junk Removal Made Easy. They take the good, the bad, and the ugly. No need to do anything except point to what you want gone. And they will do either just a one-item pickup or complete house or business clean-out. 1-800-MR-JUNKER is ready to serve you. They've been serving Fairfield and New Haven counties for over 15 years. Please call our friends there and mention Pat Civitella on WICC and get 10% off your first job. Again, that's 1-800-MR-JUNKER for all your junk and cleanup removal. They also offer same-day service. They're hot tub removal specialist, and also offer a free junk car removal. Again, call 1-800-MR-JUNKER today, and you will be happy that you did. Okay, so we're going to go, let's see. First up is, we're going to go right into my little segment here of what happened to Pasquale this week. I got Rich laughing over here. When I said it last week, Rich is looking at me like, who's Pasquale? That's me. Okay, so just to update, I think last week I gave you what we were working on, which was a 3-family property that's been sitting on the back burner for, Christ, almost 4 or 5 years now. So it's been a while. But anyways, we're back on schedule, and we ran into some water drainage issues that I think we have all under control right now, because the house backs up to this big steep mountain. So anytime it rains or snow, it's just like the water just, kept coming down and coming in, and it was penetrating. And I guess over the years, what happened is everybody tried to patch it up, and then, because of that water pressure is so much that it eventually seeped through the foundation, because it was a stone foundation. So the water, water goes, but at least the path of least resistance, and that's true all the time. And it made its way through the foundation. And, my son and his crew had to dig down, I don't know, they were down probably a good 5-6 feet below the foundation to get it all worked out. And they found where some of the breaches were, so that was all repaired. And hopefully by next week, I think we're going to be in good shape with that problem, with that issue. And then we could just move into finishing the other restorations, which is a lot of brickwork that's got to be done, a little bit of foundation work, inside work, and then we can start framing the inside of the apartment and start moving along. Obviously, we got to get the plumbers, electricians, and everything else in there. So that's the update. What happened this week? We did have that problem with that water, because it seemed like when we first opened that can of worms, which I always say it's always a can of worms, is you don't know what you're going to get. And I tell you, when he first started digging back there, all it was water coming from all angles. And, water is one of those things that I always panicked. I remember when I first started investing in real estate, I had a building, which I still have today, is, the tenant called me that there was a water leak, and one of the pipes had frozen. And, I ran over there, took me about 10, 15 minutes, and I run down to the basement where the water leak was the problem. And the water was just gushing. It's like, and then you're in a panic and you don't know what to do first, and you know where to look, until you get out of that panic mode. And then I was able to say, okay, wait a minute, the water meter's in this corner, so let me go into that corner. I think I can find where at least the shutoff is. Never mind where it's leaking from. So
stop the water first.
Yes. Stop the bleeding, stop the water first, and then you can start concentrating and think on how to fix the problem. So, all right. So that's what happened to Pasquale this week's segment. And we're going to go into, let's see. All right. I think I shuffled my notes too many times tonight and I got confused there. Here it is. Because I got so many things that I wanted to talk about. The problem is it goes by so quick. So if you have any questions or concerns or anything, call in. The sooner the better. Again, my goal with the show is to get people started investing in real estate, and talk about different real estate products and different avenues of real estate. I think I touched on it on the last week's show that there's more than just one type of real estate, like single-family homes, multifamily homes, which I like to do is the multifamily homes. There's investors that invest in commercial. They invest into parks, trailer parks, storage units. The list goes on and on and on if you wanted to get into it a little further. But anyways, if you have any questions, please call in. Also, I wanted to give you information how to reach me besides on the show here, because it's it's short time. My office number is 203-736-2484. Again, that's 203-736-2484. You can call during business hours. Leave a message if I'm not there, but I'll definitely get back to you. And my email is patcivitella@gmail.com, and that's PATCIVITELLA@gmail.com. I make this spelling mistake all the time, Rich, is when I go to spell Gmail, I always put G, and for some reason I go to GAMIL.
I do the same thing.
I thought I was the only one who did that, but I find myself doing that. I'll send out that email to somebody with a Gmail account, and it bounces back, and I'm thinking, why is it bouncing back? And then I look at it carefully, and I spelled Gmail wrong.
Well, at least you didn't do MALE.
Yeah, so I thought I was the only one with that problem. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to my granddaughters, Mia Civitella. I think she's listening tonight, and also Juliana Rosa. I'm not sure if she's listening because she's a little younger than Mia, but just to say hello, I love you. Big Pop loves you. And I want to say hello to my wife. She's visiting my sister-in-law, Sharon, down in Myrtle Beach. And we love you down there and miss you guys. And see you on Thursday. Then we're going to go. Thank you, Rich, for that. We're going to go into, let's see, we got that covered. I had a couple of different. Oh, here it is. This is what one of the things I wanted to talk about. I had this question asked last week by someone, and I wrote it down. And I had this young person that doesn't have a lot of money, money is the main issue, because especially in today's market, it's difficult to get started investing in real estate because the prices are high, the inventory is low, and everybody bids up the properties. When I got started, obviously the prices were different. But I always looked at properties that needed some type of repair because I knew they would be discounted, and people were interested in selling them or making a deal. So I was talking to this gentleman this week, and he said, I'm having a hard time getting into the real estate investment. I go, well, what's the problem? He goes, well, the main problem is I just don't have the money. So I says, you know what? When I first got started, there was a program, and then I did some research. The program is still around. It's called the 203K program, which is offered by HUD, which is Fannie Mae. It's a government program. And the 203K program gives you the ability to buy a property that needs to be rehabbed. They'll give you the money to buy the property and also give you the money to rehab the property all in one loan. And the beauty part, which I just found out, which they've changed a lot of it, is you could do this with 3% down, which I'm sure a lot of people are not aware of, but you could get in there with 3% down. Your credit score, this blew my mind. Your credit score could be anywhere from 500 to 580, and you could still qualify, because I know some people have issues with their credit score. But the beauty part is you could do this either on a single family, which I don't approve of. I always say you could do this up to a four family. And the stipulation is you have to live in it, obviously, and you have to be there for 1 year. So I think it's just a great, great program that a lot of people don't understand or overlook it. But to get into any type of property, and I always tell people, always look for a property that's needs a little bit of rehab, not necessarily a tear down or things that you're not capable of doing, but like painting and minor stuff. That's where I think you're able to get into the market today, because I feel that a lot of the buyers today want everything turnkey. They don't want to fix anything. They want to just bring their clothes and their toothbrush and ready to go. Am I right, Rich?
Absolutely. I could see that. It's easier to turn something like that around as opposed to actually putting some elbow grease into fixing
right.
some
And I feel like the millennials or the younger generation they're having a hard time getting into the housing market. I think this is a great opportunity to explore, because it's just a really untapped market. Because number one, a lot of brokers, mortgage brokers, are not familiar with it. They don't not that they're familiar. The problem it all comes down with is it's a lot more legwork for the mortgage broker. So the mortgage broker's thinking, why am I going to do this when I could just do a simple loan and make probably a little bit more money instead of jumping through all these hoops or whatever. But they're out there, and I think people should take advantage of this opportunity, because getting into this property, let's say you buy a 3 or 4 family that needs rehab, and you pick it up for $400,000. 3% of 400 is 12. You could get into this property with like $15,000, and they'll even put in your closing costs into the mortgage, and the opportunity to buy a property with a 500 or 580 credit score. I mean, and one more thing, another kicker too, I found out today, is you're able to use gifted money for your down payment. So like if you have a relative or whatever, and you don't necessarily, because a lot of times when you're buying property, they want to see money saved, that you've had in the account for a year or 2 years that season. But this one here is you can have somebody write a letter and saying, I'm giving it to my grandson, $10,000, whatever the amount is, and boom. And another thing that I couldn't believe about this, because when I did it back 25, 30 years ago, is they would give you a percentage of if you have a lease in place. Let's say you're doing a 3 or 4 family, and if you had the lease in place, they would give you credit up to 75% of what your lease was, for one of the apartments. Now they'll give you 100% of the market rate. So you don't even have to have a lease on the place, which is another bonus. Like you could have the whole place empty and say it's a 4 family, but say, they're all 2 bedrooms, and you say the market rate is $1,000 a month. Okay, no problem. We'll give you that as a based on your income, or what they can loan you.
Do they put any restriction on how much you would actually put in this deal total? So if you you can only maximum say like $700,000 maximum that you're borrowing from the government.
Yeah, believe it or not, Rich, it goes up to like $1.1 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so depending on what part of the market or what part of the country, obviously you are, like, because you could buy you could excuse me, you probably can't even buy like a 3-family fixer upper in New York City or the boroughs of New York for $1 million. It's probably going to cost you more. So that's why it goes up to, I think the number was like 1.13 or something. So, and there is a little pros and cons. You just have to, like I said, you got to find the right mortgage broker who understands it, who's been doing it, and has done more than a few of them. But this program just blew my mind when I just revisited it. Like I said, I did it 25 years ago, but it was so difficult back then. Now they're making it to me, it's like a no-brainer. I mean, everybody should take advantage of it.
Well, you said it was HUD, which is a national, as opposed to a state.
Yeah,
program.
This is the federal government actually saying, like, we're going to give you all the money you need. Just find the property, find the deal, and we'll be happy to lend you the money. I think we're going to go into a little quick break, Rich. Okay, we'll be right back.
Got real estate questions? Call 203-333-9422 and ask Uncle Pat.
Okay, we're back on. Thank you for tuning in. So, again, I just wanted to highlight this 203K program. And I was just talking to Rich on our break here. He said that he did his first purchase, and what was it, 18% interest, Rich, that you paid on it?
It was 18.5% with the real estate rates back in 1982.
Yeah,
and as a veteran, they had a little bit of a break, but it was still 16.5.
Yeah.
But I got it through the Connecticut. I think it's Connecticut first-time home buyer,
yep.
And it still was 13.5. Which, when you look at some of the rates that it became, that seemed like a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but this program, I think everybody who's out there should really, really look into it, take advantage of it. Again, and another highlight on this too is you only have to live in the property for a year. Excuse me. Then after the year, you could move on to another property, and you could continue doing this process. And again, I just found this out today. Is though before there was restrictions on how many of these you can do. Back even when I did it, like there was a one-shot deal, and that was it. But now I guess they opened it right up. They'll give you up to 11 of these mortgages. So you could do one, and after a year you could do another one, and then after you can also do it on a single family home that you live in, and refinance it, and then you could build it. You could get a new mortgage on it through this program to do your repairs. And the current interest rate is right around 6 or 6.5%. So I think it's just a great deal that people should really, really look into. Again, it's the 203K program through FHA, Fannie Mac. So I wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And let's see, I had a couple of other notes here. I'm going to pull up real quick. Reading in one of my trade magazines. And I thought this was very interesting, and I wanted to bring it to my audience. It says the top markets for first-time home buyers. Rookie house hunters this spring will be driven by the priorities of finding affordability and more available listings, shorter commutes, future price growth, and more, according to a survey by Realtor.com. The following is the small and mid-sized towns dominated rankings for the top markets for first-time home buyers for 2024. All right, so the list is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 areas that I can't believe these prices. They're still very affordable. And the first on the list, Rich, is Iron Quat, New York. Iron DeQuit. Have you ever heard of that? Iron DeQuit. IRONDEQUOIT, New York. And then underneath it says Rochester metro area. So I haven't heard of that area. But anyways, that's at the top of the list. And the prices there, the medium listing price is $187,000. And this is based on a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath. The next area that's affordable in the country is Benton, Arkansas, which is the Little Rock metro area. Benton, Arkansas, I think, is where home of Walmart.
Oh, that it could be.
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure. And the median listing price there is $197,500. The next area is Winterset, Iowa, which is the Des Moines metro area, and the median price there is $269,000. The next one is here we go. Connecticut made the top list here, and it says Newington, Connecticut, for $290,000. I think that's a great deal in Connecticut, Rich. The next one is Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is the Omaha metro area, and the median price there is $200,000. Next one is Cheektowaga. I don't know where. I've never heard of these. Cheektowaga, New York. It says Buffalo Metro. I guess maybe somebody knows these areas, but that one, the median price is $199,000.
Well, wasn't that first one you mentioned, or the second one was Rochester?
Yeah,
so
that was Rochester.
Two of them out in western New York.
Yeah, again, it's called Iron Dequit. I don't know.
A lot less expensive than down in the New York City area or Westchester County.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, this is the Buffalo area, too, and this is $199,000. And then the last on the list is Grand Rapids, Michigan, and $260,000, a median price. So there's still affordability out there for people, and I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. I thought it was a good article. Let's see. And next, I had a couple of other things in this magazine that I thought was worth mentioning, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. I got to keep track of the time here too. All right, let's see here. Premium prices. Oh yeah, this was good information here. It says price premiums for fixer uppers, which I always talk about, fixer upper homes. And try to guess what area, Rich, is the best area for fixer uppers.
Oh boy, that would sound like an area similar like Detroit, because they'd have a lot of people that are moving out of there.
Yeah.
So I think they have a lot of real estate available.
Yeah, actually, the lowest in the country is St. Louis, Missouri, and they're at almost 65% below lowest prices. 65% lowest in the country. And take a guess, what's the highest premium or the highest price you're paying for a fixer-upper? These are, again, this is based on fixer-upper. These are not ready-to-go properties.
That would sound like something in California.
Well, yeah, you're close, but it's actually Honolulu, almost 70%.
Okay, well, that makes sense because of the expensive price of gas and getting things over to
exactly. Them. But, yeah, the lowest is St. Louis, Missouri, and Honolulu was the highest. And it says, while houses in need of rehabilitations are cheaper than a typical blah, 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 yeah. So your best buy is in St. Louis, which is you could buy it at almost 70% below market or below asking. I guess that's what it is. Let's see how much time we got, Rich. We still got time here. All right, here we go. Short-term rental cash flow meccas. This was another nice article. This is based on Airbnb. I think we spoke about Airbnb and some of the other ones. The markets topping the list there's 5 on the list here, short-term rental cash flow meccas. So I guess these are cash cows or cash cow areas for Airbnb or VRBO, which I guess is the same thing, it's got the highest profits for investors. Number 1 on the list is Henderson, Nevada, which they have a figure of $31,700. Number 2 on the list, I guess if people out there want to invest in properties in these areas, these are the top 5 to invest if you want to do Airbnbs in that type of market. Henderson, Nevada was $31,000. Nashville, Tennessee is number 2 at $27,000. North Las Vegas was number 3 at $26,000. Number 4 is Las Vegas at $20,000. And number 5 is Boston, Massachusetts at $18,000. This is estimated yearly return on investment per property. So if anybody out there, again, like I was just talking about before, there's all different types of real estate investing. Here's a perfect example of just doing Airbnbs,
Well, it sounds like places where people are going, too, because Nashville's continually going up, and
right.
You're out near Las Vegas, and
Well,
Boston is the destination.
It's funny that 3 out of the 5 are all in Las Vegas. You got Henderson, Nevada, which is not too, I've been to Henderson, and then you got North Las Vegas, and then you got Las Vegas. So 3 out of the 5 are in Vegas, which is the gaming capital of the world here for the whole world. So I wanted to bring that information to you. I thought that was very good information, and I wanted to just go over my closing notes because sometimes I don't go through them all. And as I always state in this program to my audience, to buy assets, not liabilities. I say that almost every show, and people still get confused and still don't understand it. And unfortunately, your single family home is not an asset; it's a liability. Number 2 is pay yourself first. I think I covered this last week, but what most people do is they pay all their bills at the beginning of the month, and then hopefully if they got money left over, then they try to save it. But if you do it the opposite way, what I mean is pay yourself first. Is like if you use that method as a bill, like you're going to be your number one bill. So next month, Rich is my number one bill. I'm going to pay him 20, whatever the number is. It just has to be the consistency that people don't understand. And it doesn't have to be a lot. You could start out with $20 a month. Just pay yourself first, put that as a priority, and then pay all the rest of your bills. But the people do it opposite. They pay all their bills first, and then and hoping that there might be some money left over. But a lot of times, probably 9 out of 10, there isn't any money left over. So you have to get into the right mindset. Another one of my statements or closing statements is remember that you make a living from 9 to 5, and you become financially independent from 5 to midnight. Number 4, dig a well before you need it and be prepared. And number 5, which is probably the number one thing I always talk about, there's good debt and bad debt. And good debt is always when you're buying assets, not liabilities that people always get confused with. The next thing on the list is always stay positive. It's hard to soar with eagles when you're hanging around with turkeys. I haven't heard that. I remember hearing that years and years ago, lots of times.
Sounds like something from the Rockford Files.
I mean, but it's true when you think about it, right? If you want to soar like an eagle, you're not going to get there when you're hanging around with turkeys. So have the right attitude and understand. Buonasera a tutti. Alla prossima settimana. Addio. Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. God bless America.